The Raptors fall to the Sacramento Kings, 123-89. Welcome to Raptors Tonight, live from Real Sports. I'm Randy Urban, joined by Jack Armstrong, Jevohn Shepherd, and Savanna Hamilton. Well, hi guys. That was a tough one. Good crowd here today, though.
Great crowd.
Jevohn, tell us what you thought the biggest thing that plagued the Raptors tonight.
Offensive rebounds for Sacramento, turning over the basketball. But I think before we even get into game plans, this young Raptors group has got to understand, first of all, any team that's coming in to play them right now, the focus, they think it's a winnable game, right? So they're going to get team's best effort right out the gate. Because you think about a Sacramento team right now, right? They're vying for position in the West. You think about OKC coming in here, they're looking at the Raptors as a winnable game, trying to lock in number one in the West. So you've got to understand right away that your margin for error is that much slimmer every night you step on the court, because every opponent is looking at you, just the climate and where the team is right now. They're looking at this, they're marking this one off as a win. So before you even get to knowing your scouting report, before you even start talking about game plans, the effort has got to be there right from the get-go. And then, tonight was just a matter of Sabonis was a handful on offensive glass, turning over the basketball. At one point, it almost looked like a high school game, just the turnovers, which lead to fast breaks and consecutively. But
mismatches all over.
Yeah, you crumple this paper up, the box score up, you throw this one out, and it's on to the next. You got to learn from it.
Sav, what did you see?
Honestly, he covered it really well, but I think a lot of it came back down to effort at the end of the day. There's been a huge emphasis on boxing out, and this has been a reoccurring discussion over the past month that coach has continuously brought up: how to close out properly, how to box out your man, how to grab a rebound. And when you're out-rebounded by a team by over 20, it just goes to speak to more so effort, to me at least, than anything actually practical and hands-on. And don't get me wrong, you're right. Like, there's a physicality element to it at the end of the day. Like, Sacramento has a lot more years, like, if you go, like, pound for pound, player for player in the league than, like, this group of Raptors right now. But there's something about hustle and heart that you want to take ownership of grabbing every single board that you possibly can and fighting for it on the ground. I did see some guys get on the ground, but that should be everybody.
You coached when boxing out was still a thing. Is this a lost art?
Well, I think one obviously, the fact that the Raptors are very small is problematic. Now, Sacramento, I wouldn't say is a big team, but they got a world-class rebounder in Sabonis. But, a lot of it is the fact that you're kind of scrambling a lot and you can't get into your specific matchups to block out. And a lot of times you're blocking on a guy who's bigger than you and you're smaller and you wear down. And, let's face it, the Raptors are big time down in numbers. The game got back and forth, to Sav and Jevohn's point, in terms of turnovers and it's hard to keep up. And now you're losing guys and you're a step behind, and now you can't get your block out assignment. Guys are leaking in on the glass. So it's difficult. You looked at the matchup tonight based upon what the Raptors put out there tonight. It's going to be tough. And I think the thing you learn, particularly for the 905 guys, it's a big step up.
Yeah.
You go to the basket, those shots are not as easy to get off. The degree of difficulty gets a little higher. You can see guys miss shots that maybe at the lower level are bunnies to them, chippies. At this level, they're not there.
To your point as well, when you talk about the G League guys or some of the younger guys, they also have to have that recognition, right? You step onto the court and you look around, and Kelly Olynyk is the only center we have on the floor, only player over 6'10". Right away, and you also identify where Sacramento's playing Sabonis, right? He's at the elbows, he's at the free throw line, he's the hub, he's making passes. So Kelly's not under the basket. So right away, when a shot goes up, those other four guards or the other four perimeter players, they've got to do a better job of gang rebounding, right?
Yes.
And if you can't get the rebound, you've just got to make sure that you're putting a body on somebody else and your man is not getting it. So it's all about recognition, and you learn. You got to learn on the fly, and that's a big part of growth and maturity for young players as well.
On Sacramento's side, Sav, Sabonis wasn't an all-star, but certainly nobody told him. Guy plays like an all-star. He does everything for this team.
He's not an all-star. Isn't it amazing?
That's crazy.
That's insane.
And De'Aaron Fox too.
Yeah.
De'Aaron Fox is an all-star in this league.
Yeah.
When you look at this Sacramento team, do you think they can win a round?
A round?
Yeah.
Yes. I think so.
I like their matchup right now. They got, if the season ended today, they played Minnesota. Big Cat, who knows what's going to happen with him?
Yeah.
I like that matchup.
Yeah, I would feel relatively confident in them having a very competitive first round playoff. Like, kind of like look at how much they gave a run for their money for Golden State last year.
Yeah.
Like, that was a tough play. And I almost said, like, if it wasn't Golden State, if it was anybody but Golden State, they would have come out of that first round.
You're right.
So the fact that they pretty much have the same exact core, they're just now a year more experience and a year more playoff experience. Yeah, I think they can get around for sure.
They have the experience, but I'm going to say one. I'm going to caution with one thing. That is still the Western Conference, right? And if you look at the standings, they're 3 games out of 9th, but also 3 games out of 4th. So their focus has to be the regular season. That's the Wild Wild West.
Yeah.
Their focus has to be the regular season before they even start thinking about, a playoff series.
Malik Monk, a lock for the Sixth Man of the Year award?
Tell you what, he's playing like it. Obviously Hardaway in Dallas and Norm Powell in L.A. will be heard from as well down the stretch. Maybe something has to do with the final record of the team in terms of determining that. But Malik Monk, I think he's a guy that in the playoffs could go on a heater too. Him and Fox.
He could steal one for you.
Yeah. Like I think respectfully, a little bit more than Hardaway or Norm can.
Right.
I think he just.
He's a bit more dynamic.
Yeah. There's just some more swag in his game. And to me, I really think if I had to pick today, he'd get my vote.
Yeah.
And Norm Powell is one of my favorite, not only players, but more importantly, people. I love Norm.
Yeah.
But I would probably give a slight edge to Monk.
You guys agree?
I like him. I think he's that 6th Man of the Year. I think why I really like him is he plays like a swagger, but he also plays with
I thought you were going to say he plays like you.
No.
I like him.
That's a whole nother level.
That's another level of swagger.
Yeah,
There's levels to it.
Where are you, Jevohn, in the level of swag meter?
Who's above you?
So, no, there's Malik Monk, and there's me.
Okay,
And then there's Randy?
all right.
And then, no.
We need to do a level of swag
And then
power
there's
rankings
Jack.
for this table.
No, but he really plays like, every time he steps on that court, he plays like he should be a starting guard.
Yeah,
He pushes Darren Fox. And then every opposing guard he matches up against, like you don't want to see him because he believes he's better than you. He could be in your spot. So he's one of those guys that you just always you're going to get his best, and he's going to make it difficult on you every single night.
Yeah. Sav, when I watched the Raptors bench, the thing I liked tonight was Scotty Barnes was engaged.
Yep.
And engaged a lot. He's clapping, he's cheering guys on. I love to see that part of this as we wind down the season.
Yeah. It's so easy to check out, right?
Yeah,
It's how easy to, I feel like, even just watching the games, it's like sometimes you're like, oh yeah, like I gotta really tune in and focus on what's happening. But he's right in there like a dirty sock. He's in the huddles. I see him cheering on the sidelines. He's lifting his players up. Even in Phoenix, he was very vocal on the sidelines there too, as well as off the court. So
just doing a show. It's all good.
it's all good, man.
Yeah, he's talking to you.
See, that's why I said swag level up here, Jack.
There's
Swag level.
Jack swag.
And then there's Jack
this is
swag.
Jack.
He doesn't know we're on the air, I guess.
He just thinks you're sitting here having a nice cup of coffee.
I'm having a glass of water. I got to
of
be up
water.
at 6 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, you got
NCAA's
March
football,
Madness.
yep.
When I look for the next few weeks of the season, what are you hoping to see from the Raptors here?
I'm hoping to see some guys back in the lineup. That would help.
Yep.
Even a few. That would definitely help. And then I think guys, I said this on the air tonight, when you have to move up a peg or two, you get exposed, it's harder.
Yeah.
You kind of look at Grady Dick, and I think he's probably beyond where he can go right now as a rookie.
Right.
But you move him down a few pegs, and he can play complementary basketball, then he's fine.
Right.
And I think that's what's happening right now is you're asking guys to do a little too much, and you have. It's like the old. You have a leak, and you have 12 holes in the dike, and you only got 10 fingers to plug. And where do you start? And tonight felt like that, where every time you tried to fix something, there was a leak somewhere else. And that's a really difficult thing to go through. But to me, I just, effort and, look, some of the younger players to really show, hey, they're playing for jobs, playing for opportunities.
Start plugging holes with their toes. That's what I do. Let's pause it there for now, and let's welcome in our fan of the night. Please give a round of applause to George Broomer. Come on in, George. Woo! George, have a seat, man.
All right.
George, that's a big ovation for you. You know all those people?
I don't know them.
You don't know them. All right, you're going to get to know them. I heard you're buying around. George, do you have a comment or a question for the panel? This is Jack Armstrong, Savanna Hamilton, and Jevohn Shepherd.
I was just thinking in the offseason that we need to pick up a bigger man.
Put your mic up so fast.
Sorry. I just think we need to get somebody over 7 feet tall. Somebody get rebounds and points for us.
Well, so you're saying the Raptors. Well, I mean, obviously got Jakob Poeltl and Kelly Olynyk, and I guess the question is going to be, do they need size? I would agree with you. I think they need more size. I don't know who that's going to be. I think they need size. Probably a backup point guard. And then you got to continue to improve the shooting. You got to make decisions on Gary Trent Jr. and Bruce Brown. And you got to fortify your second unit, and that's going to be important. Are they going to turn? Are they going to go from where they are right now to being a 60-win team next year? That's unrealistic. I mean, it's going to be an incremental rebuild here, and you got to be patient.
I think size.
Players stay healthy. We can get in the playoffs.
No, we could be a playoff. The Raptors could be a playoff team next year.
Jevohn, you have a comment?
Yeah, no. To that point, I think size. Sometimes we have to, take that with a grain of salt because we came out of the last era that we had tremendous amount of
6'9"
size,
vision.
6'9" vision, right? And we seen it last year where it became a little clunky. And I think to Jack's point, I don't necessarily think we need size down low, but if you look at our perimeters, a number of players that are in that 6'4", 6'5" range, right? So from that standpoint, maybe it's a little repetitive. Can you get a little bigger there? Potentially. But with the modern day NBA, you also want to get skill, right?
Yeah.
So it isn't just size. Guys that can put the ball on the floor, guys that can create, not just for themselves, but for others. So it's a mix. And we have a really, really good front office. And I think we, as fans and Raptors enthusiasts, have to give them a bit more grace and trust them a bit more because the last 10 years, we've been a pretty successful
Really good.
team.
Yeah.
We're healthy.
Right.
I think we're top 10 in the league for sure. We just got to stay healthy. That's the main thing.
Health.
We got to get you to spin now.
Time.
Time's
Oh,
going
you
fast.
got. Yeah, we
gotta
got
spin for a
to
prize
win you
and then-
something. Woo!
And then shoot for that prize.
All
Let's
right,
go.
a lot of pressure here.
Oh, Georgie boy,
Let's see
come
what
on
we
over
got
to the
here.
wheel of love.
Oh,
I was
I
gonna
love
say wheel
it.
of death, but it's not really. Give it a good spin, and then we'll see what happens. There's a hoodie on there. We got. Well, that is a good spin. Done this before. 2 tickets,
Yeah.
T-shirt. Oh, T-shirt. Okay, I
T-shirt,
like
all
that.
right,
you
Raptors
gotta shoot for it. Yeah. Yeah. There
he's
was a
got
line
this.
there, but there's no line anymore. Oh, all right.
hold on.
One more try. One more try.
We got one. Yeah!
All right, George.
All right.
There's your T-shirt. Got a shout out to anybody at home?
I'd like to say shout out Gary Trent for winning my ticket tonight.
Okay. All right. Thanks, George, man.
All right,
Let's hear it for
woo!
George.
Thank you very
All
Appreciate
right,
it, buddy.
George. See you, buddy.
All right.
All right,
Yeah.
thank you, George.
Watch yourself, buddy.
All right.
Okay.
How about that? Pretty good. 1 for 2.
1 for 2.
Let's hope you're shooting that tomorrow.
Media game tomorrow. That gets you into the Hall of Fame. All right, our guest tonight is a guard for the Canadian Senior Women's National Team. Please give a round of applause for Sammy Hill. Come on in, Sammy. How are you, Sammy? You good?
Well,
All right,
thank you
take
for
the
having
mic.
me.
You know these guys? Jack, Sammy, Vanna, Jevohn. First of all, I just want to say congratulations. You guys are going to the Olympics. It's an amazing, amazing feat. My first question to you is, I think we can all kind of pinpoint that time when we fell in love with the game of basketball. Do you remember that time?
I think for basketball, it was watching my older brothers play. I have 2 older brothers and a younger sister, so big family, big basketball family, and my sister and I would follow our brothers around to every single game. We were shooting at halftime. I think my brother actually played against you.
Really?
My sister and I were out there at half court.
Yeah, I like that.
So I think that was the time you realized, or I realized how much fun it was.
Yeah.
And then as I joined teams, joined clubs, I realized how much I loved it and how far it could take me.
Yeah. So just quickly give us your journey here. How did you get here, a member of the women's national team going to Paris for the Olympics?
Yeah, so my journey's been pretty long. As I said, started just for fun, shooting at halftime. I played basketball at Eastern Commerce in high school.
Powerhouse.
Yeah, it was. I miss it, and I wish it still existed, but good basketball school. So I won OFSA with them when I was in grade 9, which was pretty amazing.
That's impressive.
Yeah, it was great. Played there for 4 years, then did a year at prep school, went to Virginia Tech and played there for 4 years. Then started my professional career right after in Germany. Have been to Germany, France, and now I'm in Spain. And with the national team, I think I started juniors in like 2012, and I slowly moved up. I was always with my age group. I did juniors until I was 19, and then we used to have what we called a development team. So it was usually most of the university age students who would come together, play together in the summer, and do exhibition tournaments. And then after my senior year at Virginia Tech, I was invited to join the senior national team, and here we are.
Here we are on Raptors tonight. Oh no, I mean, going to
Here we are.
going to the Olympics.
Now you made it.
Yeah. You know each other.
Did.
Yes.
We played together in high school, North Toronto
Absolutely.
Huskies.
North Toronto,
Oh, you
where
guys
we
played
won
together? You guys
Jewel.
played together in high school?
And we won provincial championship.
So her
as well.
brother dominated you.
Whoa,
and then
whoa,
you
whoa,
two played
whoa.
together.
Listen, the basketball world is very small.
Very small.
Also, her dad was an amazing player as well. You can talk about like Sam Hill, like amazing.
We played at U of T.
Nice.
Good, yeah.
So I played.
Yep.
And your husband, he played there too?
Yeah, he's over
Sarah
there.
Riley.
Also played at U of T.
Yeah.
Big University of Toronto family.
Yeah.
So, Sammy, question for you. What do you enjoy most about the national team experience, right? Just being around the group. I won't speak for you. I know for myself, I can't remember any of the practices. I don't remember many of the games outside of like some big ones. But the things I miss the most are like the team dinners and the camaraderie and going out together, doing things we're not supposed to do a lot of the time.
Care to
And then,
elaborate?
no, we're not gonna go there. But for you, what do you enjoy the most?
Yeah, I have to agree with that. I mean, there are a few practices that were pretty tough that I will remember for a while. And I remember the big games, the big moments, of course, qualifying for the Olympics.
Yeah.
But number one, I would say putting on the Canada jersey, lining up across the free throw line and hearing the national anthem it's a feeling like no other. And every time I'm on that free throw line, we all sing at the top of our lungs, and you just feel it. You feel the pride. You feel what it means to play for Canada and to be thankful and grateful every time you have the opportunity to put on the jersey. And team dinners, our team's a big card and board game team. So
Yeah.
and I usually supply the cards, so every time after dinner, I pull out my bag and I force everybody to stay and play with me. So I will remember that for forever.
I kind of want to ask just about the Olympics. We saw that the groups like came out recently, like was it like yesterday or the day before? How do you feel about the group that you're in? You have Nigeria, France, and who else was
Australia.
it? Australia. Yeah, I know you guys played all of those teams in the past, so how are you feeling about it?
Yeah, I'll take a page from my coach's book, who last night when he was asked the same question, he just said, "We can win."
Yeah, I like that.
I
Well
agree
said.
with that.
Yeah.
But to go into a little bit of the details, we have played all of them in the past.
Yeah.
We played Australia twice in the past World Cup, and they got us twice, including in the bronze medal game. So I think we owe them one.
So vengeance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
France, we played at the World Cup as well and won in the group stage, but they're an amazing team with some amazing players. And Nigeria, I believe we played them in the 2018
Yeah, it
World
was a
Cup.
little bit for yeah.
So teams we're familiar with, players we're familiar with, and we'll start preparing.
You know, tonight is Women's Empowerment Night here. And if you had a message for young ladies, and you look at the opportunities now for a little girl 6, 7, 8 years old compared to what you had, what would your message be to them in terms of like the opportunities in front of them here in Canada to not only play collegially, but play for the national team, play professionally? What would be the things you'd say to them? I'm sure you've said them many times.
I would say don't let anybody tell you that you can't or that you shouldn't. If it's something you want to do and you see yourself doing, throw yourself into it and give everything you have in order to achieve that. And take advantage of every opportunity that there is. Especially now the game is growing, there's a lot of opportunities to see women play. Instead of when I was younger, I could go to the odd university game and see them play, but now you turn on the TV, there's March Madness.
Yeah.
Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese, Hannah from Notre Dame, they're everywhere.
Aaliyah.
You have so much access to the women that you want to be, to take it all in, watch them, learn from them, and enjoy them.
Yeah.
Go for it if that's what you want to do.
I think while you're playing, you never really understand what you're going through, and who you're inspiring, right? So I think my question for you is, how does it make you feel? It's probably something, I'm putting you on the spot, it's probably not something that you've thought about because you're going through it, but how does it make you feel that you're inspiring another generation?
Yeah, it feels amazing, and as you said, it's really hard to tell that that's something that I am doing.
Yeah.
But I remember when I was younger, we would watch games, talk about games, and you would look at these women and just be kind of starstruck.
Yeah.
And that's how I felt when I got my first invitation to the senior national team when I was on the court with Natalie Achanwa and Miranda Ayim and Kim Smith and Kim Gaucher. And those were the players I watched when I was 10, 11, 12 in my teens, being like, wow, these women are amazing, they're doing it. And then to step on the court with them, it was just completely surreal. And I think, yeah.
Take me through the emotion of watching that Spain and Hungary game, knowing a certain result would get you to where you want to go. Obviously, that video went viral. It was all over the internet. A lot of great reactions. Just what are you feeling during this?
Yeah, I will say that's a day I will never forget, but it was a day that was also a complete blur. You go into the game excited to qualify for the Olympics, and it doesn't go your way, and now your fate is not in your own hands.
Yes.
And you know Hungary will play the game fighting for everything they have, and Spain has already qualified. So you're thinking the worst, feeling the worst. So I couldn't stay in the gym and watch. I went back to the hotel room. Kia, Nat, Bridget, and I were in the same hotel room, but just dead silence.
So hold on, you left because you couldn't stomach watching. So should we trust you with the ball with the shot clock winding down the last shot?
It's different when you're on the court.
He has control.
I just want to make sure. I just want to make
I'm
sure.
in control.
I just want to make sure.
He has to have control.
Yeah, I'm in control now.
She's a point guard.
But yeah, so we were watching in silence in the hotel room, just thinking the worst, feeling the worst. And Spain goes down 20 or 22, and it's just like, that's it.
It's 22.
And they slowly start coming back, and you don't want to get your hopes up because you just roller coaster already. And the buzzer went, and we started screaming, jumping on the bed. You hear screaming from the hallways.
Yep.
Everybody's doors are opening. We're all sprinting up and down, and it was an amazing feeling because we worked so hard to achieve it, and we thought it was over. And then just like that, it was back.
Well, let's hope there's a lot more joy this summer. Good luck. Good luck.
And a lot less stress.
Yes.
Thank you so much for coming on. Good luck in Paris. Let's hear it for Sammy Hill, everybody. Canadian basketball legend. Appreciate that. All right, next game for the Raptors, Friday versus the Oklahoma City Thunder. Tip-off goes at 7 p.m. Eastern. Don't forget, after the game, come on by Real Sports. You could probably be a part of the show. Maybe, maybe not. Sit in this chair. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. Thank you very much.